Of course, he does have an opponent in the top left-hand side playing for On Fire. He's on fire, perhaps, even. It's going to be Neeb. And do you know the golden rule of NA ladder, Lucas?
No, please, what is it? What is the golden rule?
The golden rule on NA ladder is that everyone has different pings, and Neeb is always rank 1, and you may never beat Neeb in an online game. Those are the 3 rules. And you do not speak of the 3 rules of the NA ladder unless you play on the NA ladder.
Do you?
Well, I played a bit on it because that was before I had a second account, so I could play on the Europe with no ping.
Yeah, I mean, I've been off-racing a little bit there too.
Try to play your off-race in like Disruptor Wars.
Zerg, Ling Ling.
Yeah, with like what is it, like 100 something ping, 200 ping, 300 ping sometimes.
Roughly.
Depends on the server as well, of course. But it can be rough. I mean, when I'm playing with like even just like a 200 ping, I just get so rustled. I don't know. Like as soon as there's some delay, I just play so much worse.
It can be tough, but now here we are, and on Frozen Temple, of course. To any of you guys out there who are new to StarCraft 2, or you haven't been playing all too much, perhaps you've been taking a long break and you've recently just come back, we have a fairly fresh map pool. And here, Frozen Temple, this is an excellent Blink map. I cannot emphasize this enough. If we look at the main base here for Pult, he's setting up the natural expansion. But here on the left-hand side, by these minerals, by the third base, such a wide angle where Protoss can hit. Then you can also drop a force field on the ramp there, for instance, and lock out the Terran army in the main base or in the natural, depending on the angle you're hitting. So Blink is always a very good way to open here.
Can I guess with one chance to guess your ladder build against Terrans on this map?
yeah, well, okay.
Is it a 2-base Blinkle then?
No.
Ah,
It's actually a proxy oracle.
I freaking knew it.
It's a proxy oracle into a Blinkle.
Of course it is.
Best of both worlds.
Oh man, of course it is. Talking about all-ins, etc. though, Pult is making sure that's not going to happen to him because he's scouting early.
No. There's a bit of a run-in though with this Adept. We'll have to be a little careful. Adept's very powerful units to deal with that Reaper, of course. Not going to give chase just yet, as Reaper, very scared, doesn't want to commit too far in and give that up right away. We see a quick robo here from Neeb, and with this he's going to be able to get a quick Warp Prism, perhaps go for an Adept drop. Could just go for the Observer to make sure that he's very safe versus any sort of 1-1-1 openings, for instance. And looking for what we have in the base of Pult here. 2 racks, 1 factory.
2 racks and 1 factory indeed. Pult's kind of liking these, maybe not old school styles per se, but he likes the less, I guess, the super greedy styles. He likes these kind of where he gets to use his tech labs a bit, or rather not tech labs, his factories rather. And of course when he can use his really nice mechanics. Of course, Pult can make anything work though. He's that kind of player, you know. He has the mechanics of a GSL champion because you know what? He is a GSL champion.
Oh, nice. It's going to stop the Shade from getting in. Decent number of Marines as well. So, I mean, he'll be able to thwart away any sort of potential Oracle if there would be one on the map. But no, going to be a very fast Robo base. So perhaps we'll have those Disruptor drops. We saw Puck trying them versus Pult, actually. He did a pretty good job on this very map. They had reversed spawning positions, but then Pult walked over the map and killed him. So,
well, I have to say though, it wasn't just they killed him. It was like there was a lot of fights, a lot of trading.
Okay, I simplified it a little bit.
Quite a bit, yes.
Quite a bit.
But then again, you know, after a lot of fighting, you were correct. You know, we had this one really awkward fight around the kind of corner here.
Yeah, right here.
Exactly.
We're actually looking at it.
With like 10 disruptors stacked up onto each other.
All of them gone, man. But there, we have the Gravitic boost, and then that Disruptor on the way. So it is going to be the Disruptor drop. Let's see how much Neeb can get done with this, because this is quite a costly investment in the offered at the back of 2 bases like this. And if you can't do a lot of damage, you have to at least retain the Disruptor in order to hold any sort of Terran counter-aggression.
And, well, of course, Neeb, I haven't seen this guy's Disruptor control too much, so I'm kind of looking forward to see if he can live up to the reputation Puck has set for the NA ladder's disruption control.
I mean, there's only one guy that is the king of Disruptor, because if you had more than one king, we'd all have Game of Thrones all over again, which we all know how that's going on right now. There's a lot of chaos there, guys. So, right now, Neeb, going for a second Disruptor, actually. Puck, on the other hand, preferred to only go for the single one. I do like that approach a little bit more, because that means that if you on the off chance that you do lose that War Prism, that's not all of your disruptors gone in one blow. So Neeb going to be going a little bit heavier here. I mean, of course it gives him more damage potential, but the risk, if he loses it, is of course going to be weighing a lot heavier on his heart.
Definitely. And here we go. 2 disruptors loaded up right now, heading towards that main base. But oh dear. Now, one Widowmine won't kill the War Prism completely, but a few Marines with that, or of course, maybe even a missile turret together with it, will definitely. And it's on the way of the escape route of this War Prism. Here we go. War Prism coming in right into that main base. Is Paul paying attention? Yes, it is. Pulls away those workers. Where's the other one? Oh, gets a few hits there, but oh, you gotta watch out. 4 health, and there's a Marine! Bolt! He could get the War Prism right away. Where is he? He's steaming in the wrong way. Oh, Paul, no.
That was the most anticlimactic thing I've ever seen in StarCraft 2.
Oh,
4 HP, 4 hull hit points there on this War Prism. If he took that out, that would have been massive. Because now, he got a really good hit on the army of Polt, and he also he's been able to deflect this drop without taking any damage. He's now...
That's decent, yeah.
Yeah, I think he must have forced Polt to pull back, or perhaps...
Yeah, I hit it just when he came up the...
Yeah, exactly. And now behind this, he's got the third base on the way. He's got the defensive blink ready. So, Neeb in a very comfortable position, actually. Polt, on the other hand, getting that +1 up and running, getting the third command center of his own.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, they removed friendly fire from disruptors.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
Playing it dangerous, though. I mean,
I always hold my breath.
Oh, man. Yes, he is playing it dangerous. Oh, Polt right now chasing this War Prism. He's getting it right on top of it. Doesn't get it. He drops the disruptors, though. I mean, Neeb is playing such a dangerous game. Polt right now, he's just playing with our feelings.
Oh my God.
This guy.
Yeah, that War Prism, so low. I mean, honestly, I would probably remake a completely fresh one.
And just kill the old one.
Yeah, so I don't accidentally use it and risk losing everything in it. But now, coming up this ramp, this is not going to be the best. Needs to blink away. Good reaction time there, and sends one of the Purification Novas up that ramp. Another one will potentially go off. This is actually a good fight for Polt right now. Not the best hit there.
Oh, you got to split in.
That's
gets
a great
quite a few,
hit.
and it keeps sending them. As long as you send one at a time, having 4, you can almost constantly have one of those Novas up. Actually, he has, whoa, how many has he? He has 6 right now? 5 of them. So you got to watch out here as Polt. You got to split.
Nice again. Good hits here from Neeb. He's actually taking a significant advantage in the supply. This is such a nice move as well. He shields the disruptors with a warping of those adepts, and now he's actually going to pounce on this. Polt plummeting supply. That's a good game. Neeb picks up the first map in this best of 5.
Indeed. Beautiful play here by Neeb, and oh my God, had he gone in that War Prism. I mean, he also had a Marine next to the War Prism, which was...
But here we are, guys. Now, with the final remaining players in the upper bracket, first one of the 2 here on the bottom right-hand side on Ruins of Endion. It is going to be the red Protoss, Neeb.
And his opponent, of course, in the bottom left-hand side is going to be Polt. And that's a cute dog. I love how people always have different like logos and stuff next to their base.
I mean, you can always style things up a little bit there. I'm glad that they gave us the option to, you know, choose the picture at least.
Yeah. So right now, I've got to point out, by the way, Neeb doesn't have that kind of amazing trophy either. But Polt.
But how do you get the one with the nuke explosion though? That's sort of what I'm more curious about.
Yeah, I don't know. I only had the normal ones.
Because I would love to have one with like Psy Storms going down or something.
Yeah, I hope they add one. You know. I also hope they add the the voice packs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the voice packs. I'm really excited for that one. Even as Protoss, I still would love the Abathur voice pack because Abathur, like one of the best characters in the StarCraft campaign. Yeah. Well, like out of all StarCraft characters, actually.
Yeah, he has such a cool voice. I gotta say, like as a student, I'm probably gonna be like without food for a few days.
Yeah, but it's worth it, guys.
Yeah, man.
$500 to get the voice pack.
Dude, I'd pay for it.
Yeah.
I'd take it. You know, when you spend so much time with StarCraft, why not just change it up a bit? You know, I like it.
Treat yourself, as they say.
Yeah, treat yourself to $5,000 voice pack or something. No, but I'm really looking forward to it. Of course, those are though just kind of cool things you can add. But of course, something even cooler is when you're actually good at the game. And these 2 guys, I would say, are pretty decent.
I think decent is perhaps a little bit of an understatement. Because, I mean, they're hit in the upper bracket. And right now, we have Neeb. He's up 1 game already, so good start for him here. Just very solid play there on Frozen Temple.
What happens to the player who wins this, by the way, Tenchi?
Well, he is going to be advancing forward into the spring, in the Spring Circuit Championship. That takes place in Tours in France. And there, of course, $150,000 up for grabs. Cannot emphasize that enough. And in addition, 11,000 WECS points as well.
So one of these players, you're saying?
Yeah, one of these guys is
Exactly.
going to have the opportunity to participate and duke it out for that fat prize pool. At the same time, though, you go down to the lower bracket, you'll still have another chance to qualify. But you'll have to play that additional series, which, of course, if this goes to the game number 5, can be very taxing. And this is very nice. Neeb is actually going to kill this Reaper.
Ooh.
That's actually a very good pick-off, because this means that Polt perhaps doesn't necessarily see this Stargate.
He hasn't scouted it. And as you said, of course, the loser between these two isn't out yet. It will not be eliminated, but will face the winner between Hydra and Puck, of course. So right now, Neeb is moving out here with his first Adept. And now it's about pulling Polt out of position into, of course, the natural here with as many units as possible, while he's going to come in here with his...
This is huge, Alex. He's going to be able to kill these Marines. And even if he doesn't kill them all, he'll damage them severely, trading off 1 Adept. For these poor Marines, I'll take that any day, says Neeb. And this is excellent. The key number to deal with an Oracle is 6 Marines. How many does he have on the field right now?
He's going to have about 5, perhaps.
That's not enough, man.
That's not enough. And Neeb right now, he's not going for the mineral line.
Second Oracle on
Or is
the
he?
way as well.
Oh, man, this is so bad right now for Polt. He has exactly 5. Oh, man, he's going to have to micro this so hard. Here comes the Oracle looking for those Marines.
Is there a Widow Mine out?
No, there's no Widow Mine.
Oh, it's right there. It's right there by the gas guys in the main base.
Oh, he made one? Oh, he just made one in that case. Because I was looking for one before, didn't find one. There's one now behind the gas. As you're saying, the other one, where is it? There he is. So we have 2 right now out. Neeb's going to be so careful. I wonder if he's using the tilt hotkeys for this.
Well, tags the medevac here, so you will see the drop at all times. This is very important. Now he's going to have 2 Oracles, and they can kill a Widowmine very quickly. But for now, Neeb setting himself up very nicely. He knows exactly what Polt is up to. He saw that there's not going to be any fast-committed Marine stim drops, for instance. So he goes for a very quick 3rd Nexus. I'm okay with this, actually. So for now, I mean, with these 2 Oracles, he's going to be able to threaten Polt quite significantly as well. Viking out now for Polt, though, so it's going to make things a little more difficult for Neeb.
And Neeb is going for the Protoss Viking, I guess, to be able to deal with a lot of these kind of flying units that we're going to see rather between the bases, especially the drops as well. We're going to see if he adds more than 1, because I wouldn't be kind of surprised if he did.
Yeah.
1, of course, will be enough to kind of deter most drops.
Yeah, it's like 150 gas is not really something you'd want to be spending on another Void Ray. They're very expensive.
Very expensive indeed. You got to watch out here with the Oracles, of course. You have 2 right now, though, against only 9 Marines. You got to be careful here as Polt, and he doesn't have any missile turrets whatsoever. That natural is completely open for Neeb to attack into. Will only get 4 kills, though. He won't try to extend into that main base. That can be Widowmines anywhere right now.
Yes. I mean, he's playing it very conservative, so he gave up a lot of damage potential there just to play it safe. And I'm okay again with another decision like that, to not take such a huge risk, because he doesn't really need to. He's got the 3rd Nexus already down. He's got the tech on the way. He's adding the Resonating Glaives. He's adding the +1 attack and more gateways. So right now, Neeb's setup is just really, really good. And he's been using these Oracles very well to just keep tabs on where the army of Polt is at all times. I look at the supply, 98, 104 at this point now, to the 85 of his opponent.
Yeah, right now, the one thing going for Polt is the fact that he's going to have Stim, he's going to have +1, he's going to hit a really nice timing here where he can deal damage together with these medevacs, of course. We don't have too much on the ground. I mean, okay, 14 Adepts. Okay, that's
a ton, and bear in mind, plus one, so he will 2-shot these non-combat shield Marines.
Yeah, he doesn't have any stocks or anything to deal with the medevacs. He only has 1 Void Ray. But of course, with this many Adepts, if you can buy time enough for the Resonating Glaives and +1, he's going to have such a strong army. Even a nice tag here from the Oracles to know exactly where everything is. Now with these force fields, you can't see Polt just stimming in here either.
No, and this is smart though. I like this. Polt is just preparing himself. He's setting up potential angles of attack from where he can hit Neeb. These rocks good position. Coming through the center, another good location if the army of Neeb is out of position. So now, this is very nice. Polt is setting himself up well, but he's adding in Ghosts, Liberators, no third command center. Combat Shield is going to be finishing up here, but Polt not even getting that +1 armor. He's going to be going for a pretty big two-base play here, I feel, unless he's decided, unless he's opted in to just go for a very big play and then go for a late third, but it wouldn't really make too much sense here.
No, I feel what you're saying could be true here. I mean, getting some Ghosts now together with the Liberators.
Super fast Ghosts.
Yeah, super fast Ghosts, indeed. Those EMPs are so dangerous, and now trying to go for Storm is Neeb. He doesn't have those disruptors whatsoever, no Colossi, nothing like that. He has 5 High Templars. Now, though, comes Neeb, and he sees no third base. He still goes for a 4th, though. That's ballsy.
Oh, yeah, I do think that he might have to cancel that if it comes under a lot of pressure. But right now, rocks have been broken down. There are 2 cannons here in position for Neeb, so those are going to help out quite considerably. More cannons going to be added in. Now, this is so smart. Neeb is spending all of these excess minerals on extra cannons, and this is making things really difficult here for Polt. But now, Liberation Stone's being set up. He's going to take down these cannons very quickly. Huge phased in here from Neeb. Is he going to commit? I don't think so. He needs to get those storms down. Huge angle for a storm, but doesn't get the best one. Needs to be very careful here about these EMPs, though.
He really has to. A nice scan comes out here. Nice EMPs covering most of those. How many other High Templars? Every single High Templar was actually hit there. And we see so many Adepts as well. Without that shield, here we go. Right now, Polt is leapfrogging forward. He's got to be careful, though, against those Adepts. But he can't actually engage in here because those EMPs will just ravage you.
And this is a very good angle to fight here for Polt because of those lack of storms. He cannot abuse these tight angles. Photon overcharge, what's that going to do? These Liberators locking down even more space here for Polt. So right now, even though he stimmed his entire army, the only weakness that he has with this is he has no third command center. Whoa, big storm though, not ready. Manages to back out at the very last second. But he hasn't got a third command center behind this. And bear in mind that he doesn't have an impressive counter in medevacs either. So eventually, once they run out of energy, every stim is going to be hurting him quite considerably. And this is great. The Void Ray going to be doing some work against these Liberators.
Yeah, nice start here for Neeb. And, well, although he does lose that third base, I gotta say, getting that 4th base was quite brilliant because now you can lose your 3rd and just have a new 3rd. Gonna try to attack in here, though. We do have 3 cannons. And remember, those Tempests are starting to come out. They will be out in just a moment or 2. And, well, Polt, he will be on a timer as soon as we see those because we still see 2 Oracles that can start tagging that army. And when those tags come down and we see the Tempest, you're either gonna fight or flight.
Now this is really cool though. Polt keeping so even in terms of supply, and because he's got such a low STV count, big EMP hitting a bunch of these Archons, but they will regenerate if he's not quick on his heels to react to this. Pounce on the opportunity, but he's starting to dart forward. Good storm here on the ramp, controlling the space. Cannon is going to take out this Liberator together with those Tempests for support. Another good tag of the army, so he can continuously put on the pressure with these Tempests. And Polt is in a world of trouble because he has no follow-up. It's all going to come down to this good engagement. He needs one single good fight, then he can end the game. But it's so hard versus all of these Archons, versus the Storm, versus everything in the army of Neeb.
I think Polt was actually looking for 3rd base, perhaps, but he got, well, he got warded.
Stasis trapped.
Yeah. And, of course, these Oracles have just been a nuisance the entire game here. Neeb right now, he's going to try to hold on. We see the Liberators come in here underneath the cannons. Where are those Tempests? There we are. Is he getting the Liberator in time, though? Nice EMPs hitting every single Adept. And right now, stim in from Polt. Everything on the ground for the Protoss is just melting away.
Yeah, huge supply advantage right now for Polt. 155 to 106. And he's going to be going down below that 100 mark. And all of a sudden, Polt with a great attack. Massive EMPs, shutting everything down here from Neeb, losing the Storms, losing the shields for all of those Adepts and the Archons. This is a great fight for him to take. And now, all of a sudden, Neeb massively on the back foot. He's down at 80 supply. He's only got these 5 Tempests to work with. And even though he's got a decent bank here, this is going to be so tough because there's so many units on the field here for Polt.
Yeah, Polt is just right now massing up an army of units. And, well, Neeb right now, he's down to a handful of Templars. He has a few Tempests, which is nice, and those deaths will help out a bit. But he needs to reclaim a 3rd base. Still, Polt is really all in, but he has so many units. And here we go again, stimming on forward. Where are those Storms? I don't think we have enough energy for them. And, oh man, Poles right now just brutalizing his opponent.
Yeah, one EMP does go down, actually forcing the feedbacks out to some of those High Templar. He's going to get right on top of these Tempest. Good Storm goes down, but it's not going to be good enough. And Paul ties things up. Now, 1-1 in this series, and things starting to heat up a little bit here in the upper bracket section.
Yeah, we have an
He
equalizer.
was in a pretty good spot there in that last game, but those EMPs just completely wrecked him.
Yeah, I mean, against Polt on 2 bases, I mean, when you see the lack of a third, you need to be so careful. And he actually backed off. He didn't overextend way too much after when his third was attacked. I actually think at that point, like even with those EMPs that we saw, it might have been better for Neeb to maybe just leave the base to die actually, because you know that when your opponent doesn't have a third base, you just have to survive. I mean, he's gonna mine dry
he could have
so
continuously
quickly.
just traded.
He could have what?
You could have just like kept trading because
Yeah.
you're on 3 base.
Exactly. And even though you're getting a 4th base, because your 3rd is killed, you're still on 3 bases.
Yeah, exactly. Like we saw there. But it was all about those EMPs. The first one at the 3rd base, good EMP. Again, in the middle of the map there, good EMP. So now Neeb has, I hope he's learned his lesson.
Like, watch out for good EMPs.
Yeah, exactly. When you're trifling with Polt, you have to make sure that your army controller is on point. Looking really, really scary there. Polt, that is, in that previous map. And very, very interesting approach to it as well. You know, going for the 2-base style all in with a very tech-heavy army. Not too many upgrades, just a lot of tech-heavy stuff. Ghosts, Liberators, Medevacs.
And it worked really well.
Yeah.
So here right now, Polt is going to try to get some scouting done as well, just like Neeb did. And he's going to see everything that's going on. And nothing super specific to watch here. These are second gas, but he sees a Nexus as well, so he doesn't need to panic. And of course, we're now going to have here on Invader, very close by ground. But I kind of like these spawns, you know? I mean, the way the people, the players face each other, you have these kind of cooling towers that you can destroy to buy some time. You have a lot of space for drops. And of course, those 3rd bases, if you don't want to spread yourself thin against harassment, you have to start expanding towards each other. And you have a choke between each other, make it almost like a smaller version of Arena almost.
It's like difficult to fight because for the Terran it's difficult to find an angle once Storm is out, but at the same time it's difficult for the Protoss if you have a Gateway Heavy Army versus Widow Mines versus Siege Tanks versus Liberators. And then of course the travel distance is very short for both of these guys. But Stargate, down for Neeb. And again, I hope it's going to be this Oracle.
Yeah, I hope so as well. I mean, the Orcas could have dealt so much more damage the last game, so if Neeb here was to start dealing some damage into that main, he could definitely, things could definitely start spiraling out of control. If he got the Adept in as well, an Adept plus an Oracle can actually deal some serious damage to an army of Marines, of course.
Yeah, only 5 in total as well. Now, Oracle has started, and as Polt is adding in further add-ons here, together with that factory finishing up, he's just going to get the same infrastructure we saw there in game number 2. Going to go for a rather quick stim here, right off the back of things. Get that Widow Mine. And again, Polt just setting himself up in the exact same fashion that we saw previously. And it's a very solid way to open things up here for Terran.
So behind the Oracle, we right away see a Twilight Console coming down here for Neeb together with a Forge. So it seems like he's not going to try to go way too heavy into this kind of Stargate play. Last game, we saw him go into double Oracle. We see another time as well. 2 Oracles coming out here for Neeb. It seems like you've been talking to this guy, Lucas. Playing exactly like you say you can tend to like, you know, a lot of Oracles coming out.
I mean, 2 Oracles really complicate things for Terran because if you come in with them together, like if you hide them, delay a little bit, then you can easily crush this Marine force. At the same time, if the Terran isn't paying attention, you find an angle, then that's more SCV kills. And then, of course, you have the Revelation. There was a Widow Mine burrowing someplace, and there he finds it, in between those minerals. It's so hard to spot, and that's a little bit unfortunate there for Neeb. Only killing 2 SCVs at the end of the day, not really worth it.
He still hasn't sent out his second Oracle. Now he's starting to come out. And yes, as you say, that's very unfortunate for Neeb, of course. Polt, though, very beautiful Widow Mine position. Now he's going to have to deal with Glaives, and he's going to have to deal with a +1 coming out from Neeb. So once again, a very Adept-centric style coming out from our Protoss.
Big thing, though, as Stim is going to be finishing up Polt, perhaps going to be looking to move out across the map here with this little group of bio units that he has. They are going to line up here very nicely together with the medevac as they're going to be finishing up here. And this is Polt again, just being Polt, putting on this aggression with Stim, with those medevacs, and hitting this third base, going down for Neeb perhaps. That's quite a juicy target.
It is, and well, Polt right now, he's kind of pushing across the map here with Stim soon done. He has 14 Marines and 4 Marauders with this. Also a few medevacs to back it up. This is a very nice timing and very few units here for Neeb to hold this with. He's going to have to try to defend his third though.
And gets the pylon. That's a great pick-off to start things off here as he phases right on top of these units. Is that what you want to be doing? These Marines, of course, very weak, but they have the medevacs to support. And there we go. Kills the Nexus or forces to cancel and picks up and gets home. This is a great start here for Polt.
It is, and now we see Glaves just finishing for Neeb, so had, you know, Polt come a bit later, perhaps he could have done a better job of holding, but beautiful here from Polt. And right now we see Polt adding 2 Liberators at a time. He's adding more barracks. He's going up to 5 right now, and still no third command center. I'm loving this from Polt. He's playing a very aggressive and very kind of like a very army-focused style here.
This is going to be rather tough.
Oh man.
It's going to be very tough actually to keep the third base alive. And again, going for that very quick Ghost Academy. Polt is going to be playing the exact same build that we saw there on Ruins of Endion, and it worked great versus what Neeb was doing. He was playing so greedily, and this time I don't know if it's going to be working out for him in the same fashion, because Polt, with the distance between these two bases, between these two players, and then of course because there's no rocks to separate them, it's not going to be the same sort of situation where Neeb can continuously buy time, because Polt can strike whenever he wants to, and that's going to make things really difficult. He has to hold on to this third base though. If that goes down again, he's going to be in a tough spot, because versus this super tech heavy army from Polt, you need to have a lot of gas in order to get the units you need to fight this off.
Yeah, and without a lot of Blink Stalkers, how do you deal with these Liberators? Only 6 Stalkers in total, not even Blink yet. Getting that photon overcharge going, gets the Marauder, which is nice, but did activate those that barrier, which is an auto cost. You gotta fix that, man. Here right now, taking some serious damage from that Liberator. You really have to watch out for these borders. And Polt right now, he's just putting on so much pressure. We do have that Ghost on the way as well. And wow, I mean, Polt is just showing how strong this style can be.
Yeah, but he's switching things up a little bit, though. He is expanding towards Neeb right now, so he will eventually get a much stronger economy going. At the same time, though, warping in the main base here. A couple of Adepts with that +1 attack, and of course with the Resonating Glaives, but a Widowmine will make quick work of some of these Adepts. 3 of them will still remain, and they actually start piling up some damage. Find a Ghost kill, that would be huge. But a bit, some miscontrol there, actually, from Neeb. Phasing away when he had a good opportunity, and now he will have to give chase. But that's going to be within the boundaries of this Liberation Zone. And if he decides to give them up, I don't know if that's going to be worth the trade.
Yeah, I know. We'll see. Right now, he's just killing off a few Marines here and there. Trying to find that Ghost. Being so annoying is the Ghost here. Getting right underneath the Liberation Zones. Gets the Ghost! And well done here by Neeb. Now Polt is running back. Neeb has secured his third base. Polt as well. This time will go up to third as well. He's expanding towards his opponent though, so if he's going to defend his third, he's going to be very aggressive towards Neeb as well. Or rather, he's going to be so close that there is going to be a lot of aggression. Now Neeb though is pushing Polt back into his natural.
Oh, nice. Right under these Liberators. He's going to get both of them. That's a huge pick-off to start things off here.
Yeah, that's a very nice pick-off indeed. And right now, Neeb is pushing Polt back. Where are the Liberators? We do have 2 more. I think they are in the main base right now, not being used whatsoever. And actually, Polt is getting completely wiped out here.
He's pulling SDBs here to help buffer in this fight, but he's hesitating a little bit. He's going to be losing more workers and lose mining time.
This Sim Sit is working so much against him.
Yeah, he cannot get out. Great EMP here, though, at the back of things for Neeb. Hits a lot of these Immortals and those Depths as well. But now, more Blinkstalkers coming in to reinforce. He's going to get right on top of this command center and get onto this high ground. And this is, again, another very hard angle for the Terran to push up into. And see this concave here with the additional warp is impossible for Polt to push into. As even though he has these Liberators, blinks forward, takes down both of them, and Polt plummeting in supply. Neeb up to 130 at this point in time, and everything on the ground crushed for the Terran. Neeb 2-1 in this best of 5.
Yeah, Neeb 1 game away now from going to France.
Qualifying. It is going to be none other than Neeb.
And his opponent in the top right-hand side. It is going to be, of course, the blue Terran. It is going to be Polt. And, well, TvP still. We have these two. Neeb right now, 1 game away. Is there anything sneaky he can do right now to just grab a quick win and just quickly get away with this before Polt just gets out of control and says, I'm going to get my, my Kesper practice, just going here?
Proxy Oracle into Blink all in. Good build on this map.
You think so?
Always a good build.
Always a good build. Any map, every map.
Good build on all maps. But now, I mean, imagine if Neeb actually manages to do this. He manages to 3-1 Polt. That's going to be one of the Korean Americans out. And then in the lower bracket, we have Puck versus Hydra. If he can make the wonder happen again where he takes Hydra down, that's going to be all of the Korean Americans out of this tournament. That would be a pretty big upset here because those two were probably at least 2 of the strongest players in this bracket. So if that happens, man, that'd be pretty damn sick. But right now, Neeb playing really, really well. He's got this, he's like a shark and he smells blood in the water and he just jumps on his prey. Great decision making there in the previous map. And if he can keep this form for the remainder of the series, even if it goes to game number 5 potentially, then he's going to be in a great spot. Polt, on the other hand, crumbling a little bit there. Like I said, I think he underestimated his opponent in the previous game because he was so successful with his all-in on Endion. So now maybe he has to take a step back, sort of reconsider his options, and perhaps show Neeb a little bit more respect.
Perhaps. We're going to see. Maybe it's Neeb who's going to have to show Polt respect, though, because you have to realize that Neeb right now, sure, he's thinking that, well, I'm just 1 game away from going to France. I'm just 1 game away from going to Tours, going to this huge WCS event. It's going to be so awesome. But, of course, there's always a but. If he loses this game, he's going to be at match point against Polt. Or rather, it's going to be the ace match. And then Polt can do anything. He can just proxy rack you if he wanted to. He can do a lot of things. So you do not want to lose this game. I mean, you're pretty desperate not to lose this game at this point.
There's like an element of unpredictability with Polt, like you say, because he's an extremely flexible player. But what we've seen out of him in terms of opening here has been fairly similar most of the games right now in his TvP. He goes for the quick 2 barracks, he goes into a factory, and then from there, I mean, Neeb is right now in the control of this game. He's got the Stargate on the way, and, well, probably going to be that Oracle. Got the Adept on the way. He's scouting the map right now with this Stalker, so he's being very diligent right now to find any information that he can.
So right now, we see Polt here with the Marines in his mineral line, just making sure that if there was to be an Oracle, he can definitely hold it. So the first Oracle right now in production here, while Polt, I like this, he is hidden away 1 SV here in the possible, I'm going to say 5th location here for Polt. For Neeb, rather. With that SV, he's going to be able to scout for the 3rd base when Neeb is not ready for it, and therefore kind of get, saving a bit of a scam.
This is very greedy, though. Neeb throwing down a super fast Nexus at 3 minutes, 40 seconds, and how many gateways does he even have at this point? I think this is off the back of a single gateway.
Wow.
So he's going to rely on this Oracle to keep Polt back, but this is a bit dangerous, right? Because now, if he's allowed to scout this, he's going to... doesn't see the Nexus, but he sees a pylon. That can be a little bit of an indicator, but you can never be too certain. So if we see a scan go down, just to confirm things, that would be good for Polt. But now, Oracle comes in, is going to tag the army, and this is a little dangerous here, right now, for our Protoss. Because if Polt can identify that he is doing something really greedy behind this, he's taking a bit of a risk, then he's just going to walk across the map, and he's literally going to just kill Neeb, and there's not going to be anything he can do about it. But he is staying back. This Oracle is doing its job.
Yeah, we have 16 Marines right now, but remember, the stim is not even close, or rather, it's getting close and close to be done, but it's not done in more than 60 seconds. So Polt does have a pretty decent army already, so we could see move out, try to hit the stim timing, and that 3rd will be in such a difficult position. And look at that double pickup with a Medivac, and he's still producing a lot in his own bases. They can start rallying towards this 3rd.
Bear in mind, though, we still have 2 Oracles in the air, Alex, and they, of course, as we know, deal very well with light units. He's also got pylons in position, Void Ray out, and 3 gateways now, so he's going to be able to start warping in those units. And the position here for Neeb is still pretty comfortable, but it is all about this drop. Can it do the damage that it needs to right now? Because Polt is going to be filling in the gaps here with a 3rd command center of his own, but having a Protoss stay a base on top of you for this amount of time, never a position that a Terran wants to be in.
Yeah, right now, double medevac was spotted here, I believe, by Neeb at least.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah, and there's a Voidra here as well with prismatic alignment. Going to deal some damage to the medevac, but more importantly, of course, scaring them away. Going to see Pulse at the same time, throwing down that base on the low ground, making sure that he also is going to be on 3 bases himself. Neeb playing super safe right now. He knows, just like you talked about, the danger here of Pulse just going for it. And, well, there is a very nice stasis ward. He does have these adepts as well. Glaive's on the way, and I think Pulse can't actually extend onto this.
No, this is very smart. I like it. Neeb keeps his army postured right on top of that stasis ward, so that a single Marine can't actually trigger the trap. So Neeb right now just very smart. He's even going to be adding in a cannon to further cement his position here, lock things down a little bit. But now here we have these 2 oracles swinging on in. I believe there's a Widow Mine. Again, hidden in the mineral line.
Yeah, I love the fact also like a small detail there that Pulse sends the SCV on top of it. So if you're going to kill the SCV, you got to hit the Widow Mine as well, which just works so well. Here comes the Fusion Core though, and it seems like we're getting ready for some liberated range.
Yes, even adding in a second starport right now. Pulse, 3rd command center, is going to be running up, coming into operation right now. He's got 53 SCVs to work with versus the 67 probes of Neeb, who's now dropping in his forges, his 2nd forge, in fact. So he's going to be able to get those double upgrades up and running. Blink on the way now, right as those glaive upgrades finishes. And rather slow game here. Pulse, though, as he's going to be able to get into a very powerful economy, this is where we see him shine. This is where he starts pulling his opponent apart very methodically. So unless Neeb gets into a position where he just wants to attack frontally, this is going to be where Pult is at his best.
And well, of course, this is Dust Towers. You can drop into that main base while, of course, attacking into the 3rd at the same time. It's not super compact. And well, we see here, just barely getting away. A lot of adepts right now for Neeb. You gotta be careful. Now, as you say, Pult, he knows how to divide his opponent's attention, how to find these very important engagements. And it's not as aggressive in terms of Ghost as we've seen before, but now there's gonna be a ton of Liberators. And of course, I'm expecting that Ghost Academy to come down fairly soon here for our Terran.
Ghosts are always a great way to deal with those adepts because they're all light units. The shields are there to tank a lot of that damage. That's why they're actually pretty good bullet sponges. Right now, though, Pult is just focusing on making sure that he has a good setup here. He's got a strong economy, 4th base going down. This is a bit of an exchange going on, and cannot fight this number of Blink Stalkers. +2 attack on the way. Templar Archives has finished up for Neeb. Back at home, though, Pult dropping down a 2nd engineering bay. He's also adding in that armory. His upgrades are going to be a little bit delayed, but I don't mind that all too much because he's going for a 4th command center, and we are going to be in for the longer haul.
Does look like it. Neeb right now is adding his own Stargates, and he's getting ready for those Tempests. They are so important to kill off these Liberators, of course, but of course, you gotta get them first.
Oh, very nice blink forward. He's going to kill all their medevacs and every single Marine. That's a huge pickup here for Neeb. That's going to really slow things down in terms of map control here for Pult. But you were touching upon a very important subject there. The Stargates going down here for Neeb. So key here that he's so quick on getting those Tempests. The Tempest before Colossus, that's what we like. But here we go, huge Liberation Stones getting set up. This is do or die. You have to go or you have to back off. And Neeb is actually going to decide to retreat a little bit to the left-hand side. Pult stimped his entire army, darted forward, but couldn't find a decisive moment to go. So right now, things slowing down again.
And well, Pult right now, as you said, he was kind of setting up those Liberation Stones. He's looking so dangerous right now for Neeb. At the same time, you gotta watch out. 25 Blinkstalkers, 13 of those Adepts with Glaives. I mean, this is a dangerous army. If you were to blink past these fields, you'd see every single Liberator die so quickly. But here comes the Tempest.
Yes, these are going to be very important. Bear in mind as well, 5 next size soon here for Neeb. Look at this though, Pult is doing what Pult does best. He's hitting this angle with a very big, scary army. At the same time, he has the opportunity to set up perhaps a triple drop to head somewhere else and start doing some work. A drop attempted from Neeb is going to come into the main base. These are actually rather well upgraded Adepts. They're going to kill all the Marines and actually be able to trade off every single unit here in the main base. This is great for Neeb, and then he fades right into the natural, actually a little bit of a wall off there. That's very nice for Pult, but at the same time, 5th Nexus under a lot of pressure. This is what I was talking about with Pult shining when he can split up his units like this.
Yeah, Neeb will have a hard time dealing with all these flanks at the same time. He's pulling his entire army for these. He's got to make sure this isn't cancelled, but it is cancelled at the same time. We see pressure coming out towards this fourth as well. But he's actually catching this army, seems like, with his Blink Stalkers. Oh, it's Polt, though. He was staying forward. He was looking for this fourth base as well. He's getting 2 Nexuses in less than 20 seconds.
This is a really good pick-off here for Polt, and all of a sudden, he's finding himself at an advantage in terms of mining bases. But this is the thing. The Protoss, 173 supply right now, and the closer and closer he gets to that max, and when he can start adding in those Psionic Storms, this is when Neeb wants to go, because he's getting the best composition to deal with what Polt has to offer him right now. And if he decides to go and not give Polt any time to change his composition into additional Vikings or Ghosts, yeah, he's going to be in a very bad spot.
There we go. Nice tag by the Oracle. Going to keep track of what is going on here. Getting some nice work kills as well in that fourth base of Polt. But at this stage, of course, a few kills don't matter too much. You got to see those kind of big drops for any real damage to be dealt. Right now, Polt setting up for his 5th base as well. He's looking to really get his economy booming, which is kind of completely in contrast to what we saw on Runes of Endian.
Yes, so now this is really nice. Polt is completely in his comfort zone. He's going to start setting up these big drops. You see normally 1 to 2 medevacs. Polt always likes to go and double that amount. So this is going to be a really powerful drop. At the same time, the main base getting hit very strongly here with a big warp in over depth in the main for Polt. And he's not able to actually get into the natural, start hitting that economy. Ghosts are now out for Polt here, and they're going to be able to deal quite well with this. But he finds the medevac here towards the left-hand side, kills it, and now Polt was looking for that base on the right, but there was nothing there to be found. And these armies now actually trapping the Terran army up in the top left corner. This is very scary for Polt. He needs to get out of here right now.
Yeah, it seems like Neeb's moving back, but he doesn't know about this big drop play is going to come from Polt. His main is completely open. At the same time, though, Neeb getting some nice harassment done. Good hold, though, from Polt in his main base, focusing down that War Prism. And here we go. Polt going into that main base. A big drop. And the feedback won't be enough to kill that medevac. A lot of these Photon Charges, though, being activated.
Is it going to be enough? Huge Liberation Stones getting set up here around the 4th base. And as the main is going to get ravaged now, he's forced to evacuate the 4th Nexus as well. Storm goes down. This is a very good Storm. It's going to do a lot of damage to these Liberators, but the Nexus is on a timing. Blinkstalk is in the main base. Will it be enough to fight this off? I don't know. This 2-2 bio is so powerful, but a Tempest in the main base will help out, but he loses the 4th Nexus. And right now, Neeb, this is where he needs to make a decision. He cannot just stick around and do nothing. Templar Archives falls, and the +2 armor even gets interrupted here. He needs to repower that, but this is where Polt is in his best position, like in his strongest position, because this is what we see so often versus Polt. He starts dropping with these huge committed drops, and then people just stop. They slow down. They stop attacking him. And this is where he always comes back. This is what he does. He's slowly start climbing again in supply, and that's when the game... That's how you lose a game versus Polt. You let him drop you, and you just never attack. That is what we're seeing right now out of Neeb.
Yeah, Polt is such a fast play, you know. To be honest, I would never want to go up as a Protoss against Polt on many bases. And what you say is very true here, essentially. So Polt right now, he dealt so much damage in the main base, and he's almost making this look like Heart of the Swarm TvP, where you have the Protoss kind of having with a big death ball, trying to be able to move across the map and start just engaging everything, because you know you can win the big war. But the problem is all these small skirmishes all over the map with drops and run-bys just get so difficult to deal with. Here we go again, 5 medevacs loaded up, and we only have 11 Stalkers in total, and they are, well, some in the main base, sure, that's great, but you don't have that many in your army, and that means it just becomes so much more difficult to take the proper fight.
Bear in mind, though, there's still a lot of Tempests and Psionic Storms here, and now a decent number of Vikings added in here for Polt, but this is actually very important, that if he can stop the drop into the main base, then he can take a frontal engagement. And even though he sacrifices this base, if he can crush the army at the front and defend at the main, he's going to be in tip-top shape. And here we go. Unloads all the units. No Storms going down. Mothership Core will photon overcharge one of those pylons. Storms still are being used here. Polt takes down the High Templar, and all of a sudden the main is completely bare, and there's nothing here to defend. He's going to be forced to warp in massively here with these Blink Stalkers. But Polt, with his position, so hard for him to fight in, and that means that Neeb has to go up that 4th Nexus yet again. But he's got half of his army actually split up very nicely, but he's being funneled through. He needs to drop some good Storms here. Big Storms landing on the bio now, but the medevacs are still here.
Yeah, and there we go. Is the Polt actually pulling away here, going towards that natural base. Neeb has been chasing Polt for quite some time. I was trying to keep track of them on the minimap here. did get a few nice volleys off, but doesn't look like he killed way too much of Polt's army. Polt right now does drop the last few units here. It's going to be cleaned up, but he's just dealt so much damage at this point. All the infrastructure has been kind of obliterated here by our Terran.
He's going to lose all of the medevacs, all of the bio, but it's still not a cost-effective trade. Very important that he killed that Templar Archives. Finally now Neeb re-adding that because
for the second time.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a lot of gas to work with here. So having to rebuild that is going to be very expensive. Lots of scans go down here for Polt. He's setting up these liberation zones preemptively. And again, just zoning out for this Nexus. And the Vikings going to be making things even more complicated here for Neeb. And this is just so hard. The supply is still fairly even, and Neeb's army is still extremely powerful. But Polt has got these 5 bases, and they've continuously been mining.
Yeah, right now, I mean, there's still a pretty decent kind of income, both of them. But the problem is for Neeb that now he's going to start mining dry completely in his third. He's going to be on 1 base mining completely, and now 30 workers in 1 base. He needs this 5th really desperately, and he doesn't have many more attempts to do this. You see how he's running dry in minerals? That means also that as soon as he starts mining dry in that last base, he can't keep adding this this Nexus. And Polt is hiding such a huge amount of units in northern position here. I don't think Neeb's actually aware that Polt is leaving himself completely open.
And again, just another drop hit towards the right-hand side. It really frustrates me to see this out of Neeb. He's not giving himself an observer on the right-hand side. He's not putting any sort of stalkers, any cannons, anything in position ready to greet this. Now he's got a Void Ray and a Mothership Core, but they're not on even any pylons here to deny this surface for the Marines to land on. So it's not really going to be doing anything, really. And there's still a lot of damage potential. Another cancel here on this 5th Nexus. And Neeb, I mean, you have basically one option here. You're at the max. Try to go and kill Polt now, because if he lets this game go on in the same fashion that it has now for the past minutes, he's never going to win.
Yeah, but do you know what to say? Never base race a Terran. And I think Neeb knows that as well. Like, I would want to see him just go for it, but at the same time, I just have the feeling that if Neeb just moves across the map, Polt's just going to go for a huge base race. And, you know, after a few good EMPs from a few of those clever ghosts, and maybe a few Liberators getting a nice few stones out, you never know if you can actually win that game. And Neeb right now, he doesn't want to throw things away, but he's right now up against the ropes. He is facing a Polt with just a huge bank, and oh man,
oh,
big
cloaks, massive EMPs hit a lot of these High Templar. There's still a storm or two though, and he's going to be able to actually find a feedback, but now he's on the back foot retreating here. These Tempests getting shredded. Good storm there from Neeb, but Polt is quick on the reaction. Another good storm comes in as he's here reinforcing with more units, and right now the supply plummeting for both players, but Polt maintaining the supply advantage as most of these Tempests have been taken out, and the Grand Army for the Protoss has completely evaporated. The Vikings in the sky going to be shredding these remaining Tempests, and right now that's going to be it. That's GG, and Polt ties things up now 2-2. Neeb was in a great spot, but he waited. Guys, now map number 5 we've loaded in, so let's get right into it here to see who is going to be going on that vacation to France.
Indeed, and here we have them. The first one playing of course for no team right now. It's going to be Polt. I was about to say Steam Storm. I'm just so used to it.
It's like, when is he not on Steam Storm?
Yeah.
Anyway, his opponent right now, here in the northern sector, it is going to be our Protoss player, Neeb.
All right. 1 game left between these 2 players. And it's all about this one, right? So, as you were pointing out, essentially, right? Neeb has to watch out for letting Polt just get to like 4 or 5 bases, doing whatever he feels like, because Polt will tear you apart.
Yeah, as we saw, you know, he was coming in with 1 drop here, and the Protoss army moves.
Yeah.
Polt sends another army to the left side. The Protoss army moves, and it's just sort of ping-ponging between the defensive positions amongst all of these Nexi.
Yeah.
But he's never moving forward.
I just love the term, ping-ponging. It's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. It's like in the game Pong, he's just bouncing back and forth.
And as the observer, it's so funny to see it, because as a player, you know, you're like, oh crap, something's happening here, there's something's happening over here, I'm just trying to deal with everything.
Yeah.
As an observer, you just see one big clump of army going like left and right and never actually being there in time.
It was basically like the pendulum of a clock, just ding dong, right, left,
Exactly.
left.
But it's always like slightly late as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just never any good response in time for Neeb. And at that point, I feel it was a little bit too late for him to even change things up. His last move would have been to desperately attack across the map, But Polt was so well set up. He had so much information to work with of the positioning of his opponent. And the moment the Protoss moves out at that point in time, he sends 4 medevacs into the main base. So it was just a really difficult position for the Protoss to find himself in. But now, here on Coral Carnage Knockout, larger map, maybe this is where he can make something happen. But again, if we go to the later stages of the game, we're going to see the exact same repetition of Polt dropping you to death.
Indeed. And of course, on this map, you have the cooling towers to kind of make sure that your natural is completely safe. You have that forward third base. You have that kind of choke. Everything gets awkward if you try to expand onwards here. And I mean, I think this map is much harder to go to that kind of 4-5 base scenario that we did see on Dusk Towers. Because Dusk is the kind of map where you can go for 4 bases. I think actually Blizzard even mentioned that in a post recently, that Dusk is a map where you can go 4 bases and only defend 1 position.
Yes. However, this is different, Alex. We see a Robo going down here in a proxy location for Neeb. Now we have the hashtag Protoss builds coming out because he's realized that this is everything on the line right now. If he drops down into the lower bracket, maybe with it, his chances of making it out of this qualifier. So this is all or nothing for Neeb. He's got the second Nexus, so he's going to have a decent economy to work with. He's also dropping down a pylon here, and he's going to find this SCV patrolling. This is quite nice, but perhaps this is going to fake Polt out a little bit, giving some false information, because now we have the first Immortal on the way for Neeb.
I think that's exactly what Neeb is doing right now. Like, he's adding a pylon, and he was kind of patrol positioning and stuff. Look at this!
Oh, he's taking the bait.
Yeah, he's completely sold by this, right? So he's getting the engineer base, seeing an adept fighting it. He's like, oh yes, I'm not now delaying a third, you know, get wrecked, nerd. But actually, we're right now seeing 6 gateways in total, 7 gateways in total for Neeb. He's just cranking out Immortals. And remember, it's not a long path to go into the main base of your opponent. Only these few rocks, and there's no vision of them even.
Yeah, this is the big part, Alex. No vision, only Marines. That's the only unit that Polt has right now. Stimpack is halfway done. That's going to be his saving grace. But right now, his army is so tiny. There's no tech to it. Double gas being taken here in the natural for Polt. He has no idea this is going to be coming. There's also going to be a War Prism with this. This is going to be a huge attack. 2 sentries as well. He'll have force fields. If he waits a little bit, he'll have Guardian Shield as well. And versus only naked Marines without stim for a good 25, 35 seconds. This is going to be a disaster. This is the perfect build for Neeb to pull out in the very last map.
Is this how it ends, Tenshi? Is this how it ends? With 2 Immortals and 8 gateways here on Coral Carnage Knockout. We're gonna see if Neeb can knock out Polt right now, because here he comes. Neeb's in the main base of Polt, and Polt has no clue until now. Now he knows what's up. He doesn't even have Stim yet. Stim is being focused down, and he has so few units.
He has to be so careful here. Stim is going to be finishing up within 3 seconds. The force field here can be absolutely huge between these barracks. Stims, all of his army. The SCVs are fighting right now, but these are lots of adept. He needs to pull back these units. Guardian Shield is going to do so much for him here. These Immortals have to stay alive, though. These are going to be the key units, and right now, plummeting his supply. Polt not being able to deal with these Immortals. The Adepts doing so much damage, and 20 SCVs have fallen. Is this going to be how Polt is knocked out to the lower bracket? Is Neeb going to be able to make it through? He's done so much damage with this attack. More Adepts at the back coming in here to reinforce. All the SCVs in the natural being pulled. He gets the tech lab. No Marauder production. He's going to be able to even kill this barracks.
Yeah, Neeb right now, he's looking for his tickets to DreamHack tours. And, well, he's just going for it. He's killing off almost all those barracks. But Polt has got his Liberator as he's buying time right now, Neeb, though, with so many Adepts. He just has to watch out for this one Liberator. He just has to keep circumventing it. This one base, only one SCV to kill.
Oh, this is so brilliant from Neeb. He goes right into the natural expansion. He's going to force the lift off. And even though there was no mining units there, he's still in a great position. This War Prism actually going to get taken out. That's super important. No more reinforcements here for Polt. He cannot micro the Immortals either. But he lost most of the bio in that exchange. But now all of a sudden, Neeb still stuck on the bottom of the ramp with the Immortals, but he's still got these Adepts. They're so mobile. And look at the supply, 97 to 46. Polt with these Stalkers coming to reinforce. He's looking dead in the water, Alex. This Liberator is not going to be long for this world.
No, it's not. And even though he hits a very nice Widowmine onto the Stalkers right now extending. They just need to kill the Liberator, and there he falls. We see so many Adepts. GG, Neeb is going towards 3-2 against Polt. Who would have thought?
That was an excellent build choice for this map. So smart, so brave.